I've been trying to survive 1000 days in Project Zomboid. Now the first 100 days were a bit chaotic. On the last day only, I got a fracture, a cold, and both my generators exploded. And this is the part 2. Enjoy. Well, since we still have a fracture and a cold, and there's really nothing to do in the base, I decided to take some sleeping pills and just sleep through this first day. The cold went away overnight, so now I can go back outside. I really just gotta keep an eye on the temperature and be careful when speeding up time. But I decided to set up a campfire outside just in case. After I took care of that, I went out to the driving theater just to see if there was any car worth having there. And that ended up taking the whole day, because when I was almost finished, on the last car, I ended up setting off an alarm and that brought in a bunch of zombies. I had to stay there until like 1 in the morning. The next day, I organized the cars inside the garage so we can start working on them. I got some more cars in here so we can work on mechanics. I want to fix them as well just so we can have some cars here in the base. And I got 2 that I want to take with me to this new place we're going. And the ones that are outside, I just dismantled them. Here I spend the whole day inside just working on mechanics. I want to level up before I start working on the cars. I leveled up mechanics the next day and started repairing the cars that I'm taking with me. I had to go out to get a heavy duty tire. Luckily I had one marked on the map so we didn't have to look around too much. I went out at night just to get another van so we can take the seat out and put it in our van. On day 106, I started organizing the items I'm taking with me and putting them inside the van. I'm not gonna take all the spears because they take a lot of space and I can just craft more so. I harvested some cabbages and ended up leveling up farming. I went to the trapping site so I can get the generator, since we're not gonna need it there. And I also got the one we had in the gas station, because we are running the mod multiple generators, so we can leave as many as we want running, and they'll just add up on top of each other. I remember I have found a generator trailer from the AutoStar trailer mod, so I took that as well. It's not in great condition, but it's something. The next day I almost died after falling off the second floor. Twice. Once I got my health back up, I fixed and fueled all of the generators so they don't explode while we're gone. I took the cars out of the garage, fueled them, and charged the battery for the sports car. Since it was getting late, I decided to travel on the next day and just spend one more day here in the base. I took the splint off at night to check on the fracture, and it was gone. The next morning I listened to the radio to see if there's gonna be any fog today, and there will be, so I just decided to wait until around noon to leave the base. It's kinda sad to leave, even though I'll definitely be back in this episode, but it's just like the time and effort it took to build this base, and all the struggle we went through to protect it kinda makes me feel a little attached to it. But we are going, so I got in the car and started driving towards our new base for the next couple weeks or so. Now this next base wasn't really far away, but we still managed to crash the van a couple times. To be fair, there was a lot of fog and I didn't see the car, okay? I found some really nice things on the way there, including this military semi-trailer with 1400 capacity. I also found this sports car and this truck with 100% engine quality, which is like super rare to find. And this number basically means that the engine won't stall. Like every time we start the car, it'll turn on. But finally, at 6 p.m, we got to our new base. The first thing I did when I got there was clearing the house out of zombies, of course. But I also barricaded the front windows with metal sheets. Added escape ropes to the second floor and connected the generator. I'm really excited to basically start over again. On day 109, I spent the entirety of the day making the base livable. I secured the fireplace and made a hole in the second floor so we can access by rope. Which actually means that now we can spend winter here. I also destroyed the stairs since we don't need it anymore. And yeah, now the second floor is zombie proof. I had to fix the sheep rope on the north side. And I also made a water collector bar to place a sink by the fireplace. The next day I finished plumbing the sink and also organized some of the items that were scattered around the base. As I plan on living basically on the second floor, I moved the fridge there. And after that was done, I went out to clear the house and the warehouse next to us. Just to make sure we don't have any zombies. I didn't find what I was looking for at the warehouses, so the next day I went on what was supposed to be a quick looting run that actually ended up taking the whole day. Now today I did find a lawnmower from the riding mower mod. And this is a very rare vehicle because I've been playing with this mod for a while now and I have never found one. This is the first time. It's pretty nice to play with. But I still hadn't found what I was looking for, which were seeds. Luckily I found some at the warehouse where we found the semi-trailer on. So I got them, went back home and planted. Day 112 was finally the day to start clearing the area. Since it was still dark, I decided to organize the items scattered around the base, and when the sun came out, we started working. Now here's the reason I brought a sports car without a muffler with me. It's just so we can attract zombies from far away, and if I need to leave the car behind, it's okay because it's not our only vehicle. I left the van right before the turn and took the sports car ahead. Quite a few zombies showed up actually. And after killing them, I parked the car a little further away. And I basically did that all day long. I did end up having to leave the sports car behind since it was dark and there were way too many zombies around it for me to deal with. Since today was gonna be a thick fog day, I decided to do some foraging just to kill the time. I ended up leveling up to level 2 really quick and went inside to read the next book. When I finished reading, I went back outside and leveled up to level 4, as the fog had started to disappear. So around 3 p.m. it was time to kill some more zombies. I got a few chairs in the house close by to leave them on the street. I didn't have much time to do it and the zombies by the sports car had already wandered off to the woods. So I just turned off the car and went back home. I did level up to Spirit 7 though. I started the next day by setting off a house alarm while looking for some chairs. I didn't know how many zombies were around, so I just left and went back to killing the ones by the car. A chopper flew by at some point and started shooting at me. Now I'm not actually sure if it was aiming at me or at the zombies, but I wasn't about to stand there to find out. Today I leveled up maintenance and found a survivor zombie from a mod with a military backpack. This mod basically gives better survivor zombies, like actual preppers and stuff. Since I woke up too early the next day, I just stayed inside and read a book. I decided to loot the houses south of the road we're clearing, just to see if there were any zombies left by that side. Cause I really don't want to get stuck like in the middle of two hordes. After that, it was just another day of killing. We managed to get inside a little township though. And this is the first modded map that we're going to visit. On day 106, I wanted to clear the houses where the alarm went off a couple days ago. And there were actually not that many zombies there. So I took care of them and cleared the rest of the houses as well. A couple of them also had alarms on, but there are not many zombies around. After that, I cleared a little bit more of Little Township. And found a store with like a lot of different items in it. When I got back home, a jet flew by and dropped a supply box. Those supply boxes really don't have anything that's too OP. It's usually more like medical supplies and some seeds and stuff like that. The next day was all about killing zombies. I managed to attract a lot of them to the car, and that made it easier to kill big chunks at a time. I also took the time to take some notes on the items that were in the garages. When I got back to base, I took the van close to the airdrop, just so we can get everything out of there. And there was just a bunch of jarred food, seeds, and some fishing supplies. And now that we have some carrots, we can start trapping again. So that's what I did. I set up a few boxes in the forest north of the house. And after that, I went back to killing zombies. I ended up going close to the mansions and the house that we're going to have as the end game base. Yeah, I actually want to have the main base here at Little Township because I feel like it's the best place on the map to be because it's very centered and it's also a really cool looking town. This is a big house with lots of room for storage and whatever. Plus we're going to expand this place and fence it off. This house is just great because like it's right next to a lake and it's surrounded by forest, so it really looks like this place is a post-apocalyptic type of base. When I went back to killing some zombies, I found another prepper with a machete and a rifle. On day 119, I decided to collect all the zombie loot on the corpses before they disappear so I can level up electrical. And that basically took half of the day. After that, I did some Fast and Furious stunts and went out to clear the mansions. I spent the next day looting and taking notes on all of the items we found at the mansions. And I also found a really unique room in the first house. I went out to finish looting the houses and I found this building with just ridiculous amount of items. I feel like this would be a really nice place for a small base, but we already have a spot, so. I walked around looking for some zombies here, but I'm pretty sure we're done in Little Township. The next day, I went out to forage while the fog was up, and I decided to go check out the farmhouse. I've always heard people talking about the farmhouse, but I've never been here. And this does look like a great place for a base. It kind of reminds me of The Walking Dead Season 2, I think. So it's really nice. Today I leveled up to electric level 4, and I spent the rest of the day just foraging on the way back to base. And I even found a antique oven inside a cabin on the way back. I almost leveled up like 2 levels of foraging today. Since there's still a little bit of time before winter really hits, I decided to move to the main base, just so it's easier to get to Fellas Lake. Cause we're also gonna clear that. So I got a few items we might need, and stopped to get a antique oven. Once we got to the house, I placed the items in the garage and the oven in the living room. There was no time to do anything else, so I just decided to cut down some trees that were in the dirt road leading to the house. I went back the next day to get the generator and a few more items. And I also decided to tow the lawnmower we found earlier. Now it didn't really go as planned, but it worked, so yeah. I got the logs we had cut down yesterday and built a temporary place for the generator outside. On day 125, I wanted to loot as many garbage bags as I could to make collector barrels. So I went out and took this opportunity to clear all the buildings and take inventory on everything. Nothing really exciting happened, so let's just skip this. I wanted to kill some more zombies, so I got up early the next morning and went up the main road towards Fellas Lake. Once the storm started, I went back to base and built the collectors, but I still haven't connected them to any sinks. I read some magazines and a book to kill time, and that was it. On the next day, I got a haircut and took a shower first thing in the morning, and now it looks like winter is actually here. So I put on some more clothes and went right into killing. Today the car was packed with zombies. I spent the whole day clearing them. I even leveled up sprinting. I went back to the old house so I could harvest the crops we had there and level up my farming skill. When I got back there was a fog, so I decided to loot the house we had cleared earlier. And I found a gas container from the containers mod. I went a little further up the road to see if any zombies would show up, and the car got swarmed again. And I spent the next day just trying to get the car back. And the same thing again. On day 131, I took the sports car to refuel at the gas container we found and jumped right back into killing. I messed up a little bit and got a scratch from a zombie. I did the same thing again the next day, but I kept an eye to see if my character would get infected. And I think we're good. So I just moved the car to a new location and kept going. The hood of the sports car was at 5%, so I had to fix that. And once that was done, I decided to loot the zombies we had killed so far before they disappear. When we got back to base, I dismantled what I had found and got one more level in electrical. A jet flew by in the morning while we were sleeping and left an airdrop somewhere, but I'm not gonna look for that now. I went out to Fellas Lake again and it looks like we're almost done here. I looked around the city and there's not that many zombies left. So I killed some more and went back home. Pretty sure we can finish here in a couple days. So I went back there and started looking around for zombies and cars to note on the map. I did find a few zombies here and there, but it was mostly on the north road that takes to Riverside. And on the next day, I just went back there to take inventory on everything, and I did find some really nice things there. My first stop was at the hardware store. There was some decent loot there, but then at the farming store, that place was like full of guns and ammo and everything. And plus, you know, actual farming supplies. The police station had a few guns as well, but it was nothing close to the farming store. And finally, the bookstore, which probably has more books than the one in Rosewood. Which is weird if you think about it, considering the size of both towns. On day 137, I went back to Rosewood so I could refuel and repair the generators. And since I was there, I decided to take the truck to get that trailer we had found earlier this episode and head towards the army surplus store in Doe Valley. So I prepared everything and went to bed there at the fire station one more time. And the next day, I took the truck and went out to get the trailer. But when I got there, I realized that the trailer was for another truck from another mod, so I ended up having to leave it there. I took one of the vans that were there and headed back to the fire station just so we could get the trailer. There's not as much space as the semi-trailer, but I think we can manage. And after that, we finally started making our way to Doe Valley. When I got to the house I had planned to stay at, a few zombies showed up, but nothing to really worry about. After I took care of them, I made sure that the house was safe, and I went to bed. I woke up early the next morning, got the car, and went to the army surplus store. Now this place was full of zombies. I wasn't sure if I wanted to kill them all, just because of the time that would take. So I just kinda kited them around the store and went inside to loot it. This place has a lot of great loot in it. I basically took everything with me. And when I got out of the store, there was still some time left, so I decided to kill some of the zombies, just so I could loot the other places around. Once the sun started to settle, I decided to sleep at the army store, so I just locked myself in the bathroom and went to bed. I spent the next day clearing the zombies by the buildings I wanted to loot, and I ended up leveling up to Spear 8 by the car repair shop. Later in the day, when I was making my way back to the surplus store, a heli flew by and caught a few zombies. I just went inside the bathroom and tried to sleep there. A few zombies did get inside the store, but they couldn't find me in the bathroom, so we're cool. I went outside and finished clearing the areas I wanted to loot. I didn't find anything of importance, but I did find some nice cars that I want to come pick up later at some point. So after I look at all the places to see if there was anything worth taking, I decided to go back to the house just to take some of the items I had there and go back to base. I woke up early the next morning because I wanted to start to make my way up to Riverside, and we're probably gonna be out there for at least 30 days So I packed everything I needed, fixed the van, turned off the generator, and got on the road. I had to stop at Fellas Lake to get the sports car, because I'm gonna be using the same method to clear the zombies. The ride there was pretty smooth for the most part, but we managed to get there okay. Once I got to the house, I added escape ropes, destroyed the stairs, and we're safe. Day 143 started with me going straight out to kill some more zombies that were close to the house and around the street. After I managed that, I drove the cars close to the gated community and left the sports car there, since it's where we're gonna start clearing the city from. I got inside the fences with the car and killed zombies all day long. I even found a katana, which is always welcome. And on the next day, I just went back there and continued killing the zombies. My luck must be out of this world right now, because I found 2 more katanas today. Just in 2 days here, we have the same amount of katanas we found in 142 days. This is crazy. An alarm went off close to where we were, so I decided to just go home and leave it there. A bunch of zombies showed up from nowhere, but I'll deal with them tomorrow. Before I went out the next day, I had to craft some more spears because I was running out of them. And after I made my way up the street killing all of the zombies, I decided to gather them up with the van just to make it easier. Once I killed the ones on the street, I went back to the gated community and the alarm pulled off zombies from the church across the street. So there were a lot of them. But actually, I managed to clear them all by the end of the day. I even leveled up to maintenance level 9. I had to craft even more spears because I'm running through them like water. I started to make my way east of Riverside. And I cleared the Gigamart so we can start looking for food there. On day 147, I crafted more spears and headed out to Gigamart. After I looted some of the food, I took the sports car to the south part of Riverside and just stayed there until it got late. I almost flipped the car and that would have been a death sentence for sure, given where we were. I went after a metal plate to fix the hood of the sports car and found a nice gun in a cop car behind the Gigamart. After fixing the car, I started to make my way up the main street. And at night I decided it was time to move bases, so I just packed my things so we can move tomorrow. Today was moving day. I decided to go to a house inside the gated community, just so I can have a fireplace and make this one more of a real base. I spent the whole day just preparing the house and making it safe. I crafted some more spears before bed, and that's it. We're ready to fight again. Day 150 was a very productive one. I looted the zombies on our street, and then went out to the school to clear that area. A lot of zombies got stuck on the fence when we were on the main street, so there were quite a few here. I spent another day going up that same street. Okay, this is the last time I'm gonna say it, but it looks like winter is officially here. I was starting to run out of gas, so I took care of that, and at night I decided to clear the school. Today I cleared the area around the police station, and I even found another katana. After that I went to the street we were yesterday, and I found a bunch more zombies there. At this rate I think we can be out of Riverside in a week or two. I spent another day just clearing zombies, and found one more katana. The city has been amazing in the katana department. I'm gonna need to find another sports car because this one is done. I wanted to take a break from killing all the zombies, so I started looting the gated community. Now, my main focus is to find generators, but we're gonna end up looting all the houses anyway. I didn't find anything important today, and even ended up sleeping in another house. Since the focus here is to find generators, I'm only gonna loot the houses that have like sheds and garages, because that's the only place the generator can spawn in. On day 156, I finished looting the gated community, and I didn't find not even like one generator. I guess what I found in katanas was compensated for in generators, but that's okay. I got the sports car we found at the last house and took them off their off as usual. Then I organized the items we collected in the base and went out to do some more looting. There's not that many houses left that can spawn generators, which means our chances of finding one is not the best right now. I tripped an alarm at night, so I went away from it and ended up finding a generator inside a little shed. At least we're not leaving this place empty-handed. I even leveled up to Longblade 3. I went back home just to unload the van and got right back to looting again. I found 2 more generators today. I guess it's easier to find them at the sheds rather than the garages. I woke up cold today and had to light a fireplace. Today is a very chilly one, but I don't think it's gonna stop us from looting. After I finished clearing the houses, I went to the hardware store and found a bunch of cool stuff there, including 4 garden forks which you've never seen before in this run, and this is the best type of spear you can have, cause it gives the same damage but it lasts much longer and it's just way better than a spear. After that I looted the VHS store and the liquor store, nothing special there, and then I went up to the police station. I found a nice car and a bike in the parking lot, but when I tried turning the van on, it just wouldn't work, so I just had to tow it back to base. I have no idea what happened, but anyway. There were some nice guns here, but not as many because it's a very small police station. And I leveled up to level 5 in the gas station. Turns out that the problem was the battery, so I got that fixed. And I went out to see if I could find a big trailer to carry our stuff around. As I was looking for it, I found a boat in the river. I have no idea how to use it, but it's really nice. I ended up finding the trailer I was looking for, so I took the rest of the day just to take notes on the vehicles we have in Riverside. And at night I found a bunch of vehicles like west of Riverside. On day 161 I started to make my way to the warehouses west of Riverside, and it was easy to get there, but the place itself had a lot of zombies. I found a couple trailers and a nice truck in the parking lot, so when I decided to take all of the items I find here, it's gonna be a little easier. And at night I ended up sleeping in the car since I didn't want to go back to base. I went to the self-storage and spent most of the day just looting there, and I ended up finding one generator. As it started to get dark, I made my way back to the base, stopping at the gas station to get the ice freezer. When I got home, I unloaded the van and went to bed. We're probably getting out of Riverside tomorrow. I started to get every item I wanted to take with me, and that actually took most of the day. Since I didn't want to arrive at our next location at night, I decided to wait until tomorrow to go. So I basically just spent the rest of the day fixing the van and organizing some items. And the radio says there's gonna be a air activity tomorrow. I woke up the next day and said goodbye to Riverside as we started to make our way to the country club. I want to base there for a little while cause I don't think I've ever explored that place before. So it's gonna be a nice change of pace. And as I say that, a bunch of zombies welcome me at the gate. So it's killing time. I spent the whole day basically clearing every zombie I could find, but as the sun started to settle, I realized I still didn't have a place to sleep. So I cleared the parking lot with the sports car I found there and slept in the van. It's not the safest place, but I think it's gonna be okay. The next day, I got the sports car and drove around the forest to get to the actual country club. It's not the smartest way to get there, but as I said, it's my first time here. And as I was doing that, a jet flew by and left an airdrop in the woods. And now it's more killing time until this place is cleared. And I leveled up to Spirit 9 here. I found some zombies that were stuck in this little island. I guess they're just gonna be here forever. And at night I went back to the van and slept there again. Day 166 was a very busy one. I took the van and the trailer up to the temporary base and also finished clearing the place. After that I made sure it was safe to sleep here and I got a bed for the room. I brought the sports car around and went out to clear the houses east of here. There are really not that many zombies left. And after I dealt with them, I started looting the houses and ended up staying up all night. So I finished looting all the houses and then went up to the car repair shop inside the club. Since there's not much more to see here, I started taking notes on all the cars I found and I ended up having to change the sports car for a van. Today I finished exploring the country club and honestly it looks like a great place to be like a massive base. But we already have a spot, so maybe next time. And after I was done with that, it was time to head back home. I ended up having to stop a few times to get rid of some zombies on the way, but it's nothing too interesting. I got home pretty late, so I just went straight to bed. And I just now realized that today's Christmas. So I started my Christmas morning doing some base work. Basically what I want to do here is create a place where we can come in on one side with the car, unload all of the loot we find, and come out the other side so we don't have to back up. This place is going to be our main storage for everything, but it's going to take a long time to build, time which we don't have, so I just moved the crates out of the way and that was it for now. I got all the generators in one place and got some of the items we had in the trailer in here. And just another day basically organizing items in the base. But I did start a little remodeling of the kitchen because I was feeling a little claustrophobic. Day 171 start with a level in electric. I finally finished organizing the items in the crates, and I also cut down some more trees close to the house and by the lake where we're gonna be fishing in the future. Today we're going on another mission, but to get there we'll have to clear a few roads. Well, actually, after the second road I just decided to drive around the zombies, or through them. And our next mission is here in Rosewood. The one thing we didn't do in the last episode. There were quite a few zombies waiting to welcome us back to the fire station, so I took care of that first thing in the morning. Next I read the electric book and started dismantling all the watches and everything we had in Rosewood. Some PTSD got me, so I stopped to fix and refuel the generators before I finished what I was doing. At night I forgot I had food in the oven and ended up burning it. Then when I cooked it once more, I sped up time and burned the food again. So I just gave up and went to bed. The next morning I got our Mustang we had in the base, refueled it, and took the muffler off. Now she is ready to attract zombies. So I went out and started clearing the road right in front of the base. And I actually found a katana really fast. And I basically did this for the whole day. And today we started clearing the prison. That was something I wanted to have done the last episode, but it got postponed, so we're doing it now. I parked the car at the front door, and to be honest, I thought there were going to be more zombies here. I went back to the prison the next day, and a bunch of zombies that we left in the car wandered away from it. It took some time, but we got them out today. I also leveled up to maintenance 10, which means our spears, katanas, and basically every weapon will last longer. And speaking of katanas, once we get to spear level 10, it's katana time. One thing I want to show you is this duffel bag full of watches that I'm basically using as a defense system. All the watches have an alarm set 30 minutes apart from each other, and this acts exactly like the generator I had here to attract zombies. I remember I hadn't patched some of the new clothes I was wearing, so I fixed that in the morning. And I got one more katana today on my way to the prison. I decided to clear the zombies outside of the fence before we go in, and it looks like we found all of them, because there were a lot here. I thought I had killed this zombie right before I paused the game, and he ended up getting me. Luckily, we patched our clothes today, so we didn't do anything. I had to abandon the car here last night because there were just way too many zombies to get rid of. And when I got back, some of the zombies had wandered off, but I got them back, plus a lot more that were in the woods. The duffel bag is officially working. I got back to clearing the outside, and when I thought I was done, a lot more zombies showed up. Like, a lot. At least we got another katana. I decided to sleep in the tower close to where we are, just so I don't have to go back to base and then here again. I finally finished clearing all the zombies outside and started to clear the ones inside the fence. But it turns out a lot more showed up outside. But at this point I'm not sure if I want to do that. I don't know what's happening right now. They won't stop coming out of the forest. I basically spent the whole day here again and I'm not even close to finishing. Plus, when I got back to base, there were quite a few zombies waiting for me. I even had to jump the fence to get in so I wouldn't attract them. But they were gone the next morning, and I have no idea how. So I just crafted some more spears because I was starting to run out of them, and I went back to the prison. The zombies around the car were also gone, so I just went to the backyard and started destroying the metal windows so the zombies could come out. And after I spent the whole day doing that, I came back to base and the zombies showed up again. The next morning they were all gathered around the duffel bag, and this brings me back to the first episode. After I handled them, I just went back to the prison and destroyed the metal windows that I needed. Since there was still some time left, I took the cars to the back of the prison again and started clearing them. And I ended up sleeping in the tower again so I don't have to go back. I finished clearing them on the next day and decided I wanted to loot this place and leave it as soon as you can. So I got into the armory and found some nice stuff there. I also looted the zombies in front of the prison and then went back to base and took the sports car with me. Heli flew by in the morning, didn't do much though. I went out again and cleared a few zombies on the way to the prison and looted some more of them for the day. When I got back home, there was a very dense fog that made it hard to see even like in front of me. While it was still dark, I went out and cleared the front of the base as well as the sports car. And then I organized all of the loot we got. And since there's still some time left, I decided to go get the semi-truck at the warehouses, just so we could then get the trailer we found at the prison. I ended up leaving the katanas and machetes here by mistake, so it's good we came back for it. And by the way, here are all the katanas we found in Rosewood, including the one I broke crafting spears by accident. Not a bad number if you ask me. At night I started looking through the items just to see what I wanted to take with me to the main base. Today was all about selecting which items I want to take with me and putting them in the trailer. Since I had some time left in the day, I decided to level up foraging. There was an airdrop at night, but I'm not even gonna bother looking for them. And yeah, tomorrow we're out of here. And on day 188, it was time to go back to base. It was nice spending some more time here at the fire station. And we're probably not coming back for the rest of the whole series, because there's just nothing to do here. So yeah, goodbye Rosewood. Once I got home, I just spent the rest of the day organizing the items we brought with us. Since I don't have any cars here in the base, I decided to start my car collection. Now, I'm not just gonna bring every car I find, I wanna get the 100% engine quality ones only. It's a bit hard to find them, but eventually we'll have all types of cars. And we're starting with the ambulance we found really close to the base. Most of the 100 quality cars will be like this, so it's gonna be a bit of a grind to get them all to 100 overall. But first I had to go out to a place where you can level up metalworking and get the materials at the same time. But it turns out I forgot to read the next book and bring a propane tank with us, so I had to go back home. And also bringing the truck was a mistake. The good thing is that we got all the cars out of the way and found another 100% ambulance. So I got back the next day with everything I needed, and I started by clearing some of the area because we're probably gonna loot the warehouses for more propane tanks. And I actually got 1 level of metalworking today. And then went to bed in the car. I spent the next day dismantling cars, and as you probably noticed by now, this is not the vanilla wreckage. This is a mod called Crashed Cars, which transforms the normal burned cars into more realistic ones. I leveled up to metalworking 4 and read the next book which I brought with me. I ran out of propane, so tomorrow we are going after that. On the next day, I went up to the warehouses to find a propane tank, but I had to clear a lot of zombies first. And I found 1 more katana. It took the whole day, but I finally cleared the way. And unfortunately, there was no propane tank in here, just a couple of propane torches. Today I spent the whole day just collecting the metal we got, and I had enough propane to dismantle a couple more cars. On the next day, I went back to base and started working on the ambulance. I realized I'm gonna need parts from other cars, plus a jack and a lug wrench that I thought I had. So I went up to Fellas Lake and I found what I needed there. I'm still missing some parts, but we can get that tomorrow. Another day just collecting parts and repairing the ambulance. I went to the building close to base that we had found earlier, just to see if I could find a propane tank. And I didn't, but I got a full propane torch and a big trash can, so now we can delete the items we don't need. I remembered I have a mod called Pumps Have Propane, which lets me refill propane torches and tanks in the gas pumps. So I got a generator and went up to the gas station. I had to go out again to get spare engine parts, and I ended up crashing the car we have. On the way back, I took the sports car with us, even though it's not 100%, but it's still a nice car. I got quite a few spare parts to repair the engine, but it only got up to like 67. But I guess that's good enough for now. And that's it. The ambulance is ready. We can't really do any better right now, so yeah, that's it. I have another trip planned for the next episode, and since we're gonna be away for a while, I decided to do something that takes time, which is composting. It's not the most important thing, but it'll be nice to have some when we get back. So I got the truck and went up to the warehouses that's close to the base. And I basically spent the whole day there. I even found a Jenny before we left. I wanted to do everything I needed before finishing this episode, so I ate some coffee just to stay awake. And then on the last day of this episode, I started building the composters and got a severe scratch after jumping over a fence. It's okay cause we have first aid 10, so it'll heal fast. And then I spent the rest of the day basically just putting everything into the composters. And that was it. 200 down, 800 to go. The end of this episode wasn't the most exciting one, but we needed some things that needed to be done. And the next episode is gonna be a nice change of pace. Cause now we're going to Raven Creek.